But
Yeah.
so let me ask you this though. Do you remember the first time you walked out there? That had to be like super nerve-wracking. What does that energy feel like? I'm just curious because that just seems like you either have to completely detach and you're just like, this is cool and I'm more mechanical in my motions, or it's affecting you and you're like, ah. I'm curious what that must feel like.
So we did I'd only done two shows with Toto
Mhm.
um before the first show that we did opening for Journey
Okay.
in
Yeah.
2022.
Okay.
We had the live stream show in 2020 that ended up becoming a live record, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Hell yeah.
and and that was cool but weird because we couldn't we were it was the middle of the pandemic. We couldn't really have anybody there.
Right.
Everybody got a +1, but everybody was spaced out
Yeah.
and masked up and everything. And like we were all spaced out and masked up when we weren't performing. So that was interesting. It was
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's weird playing the tunes and then like not having the energy given back to you from the audience.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Especially
And
like the
then
kind of songs that, that they write and play. So yeah.
yeah, you
That you
finish
guys
hold
write
the
and play, I should say.
line,
Yeah.
yeah, you finish hold the line and it's just like 14 people clapping.
Yeah. At
Like
like
you're
different
playing a
times.
coffee shop in North
Yeah.
Park,
Right. Right.
San Diego or something. But
Sure.
it was cool, and it was really neat, to be able to have that, as a live stream concert during that time.
Hmm.
We had when it came out, I was hearing from my phone was just blowing up and hearing from everybody like, hey, we tuned in, like that was
Oh, it's
awesome, that
amazing.
was so cool, like
Yeah.
gave us the concert experience from home, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it was really neat.
That's great.
And then the second show I did with Toto was a private event
Hmm.
um, in Sonoma,
Okay.
California.
Hmm.
And that
Oh,
was
nice.
like, yeah, really nice, really cool.
Good one.
Up at a winery and stuff, and so that was fun. And we did I think it was like a 90-minute show
Okay.
or something there. And then the first arena show that I've ever done with a band,
Hmm.
because I did the Honda Center a couple times years ago with a performing arts group
Hmm.
for this realty company's award show,
Okay.
like yearly
Yeah.
awards and stuff. And we had a whole like 80-piece orchestra
Wow.
up there and stuff too, and 100 performers in the performing group, which was cool.
Yeah.
But the first time stepping out there with Toto at the what was it? I'm gonna butcher the name. So I have it here. It was the PPG
Hmm.
Paints Arena in
Okay.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Lots of awesome alliteration in that name and location.
Yeah. Seriously.
Um, it was wild, man. Like
Yeah.
I was nervous, but you know, as soon as you walk out onto that stage, it's two things happen. You're like, oh shit. And then you look out and you realize that like your brain can't quantify
Right.
how many people are actually there,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? And so you immediately feel comfortable.
Sure. Okay. That's an
Weirdly
interesting.
enough.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective. Yeah, and that's it's funny because the answer to the question is like it's both scenarios. It's just sort of like you naturally have to detach, but there is that like that gut thrill. Plus, also you're standing shoulder to shoulder with like these Herculean musicians that have all these people on the other side of that stage are like just beyond thrilled that they're seeing them and you now included, and that's got to feel great too. Like you
It
can do no wrong almost.
but I mean you can. Like you can
Yeah, of
fuck up
course.
pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
You definitely have to keep your head about you and
Oh,
like
sure.
not
Yeah.
not do anything before the show, in nervous energy to
Yeah.
throw anything off. But no, it's interesting because like it's such a weird disconnect. Like I know that there's all these people out there, and if I look at like one little spot, in the back, like you can see these people, like
Hmm.
either if they're seated or if they're up and dancing or if they're singing along, like, and you can connect with each and every one of them. But
Hmm.
because I'm doing things, you know, like I look up, but it's only for a moment because I have to get back to who I'm working with on stage and making sure that I'm looking to this person for this
Reading their
cue or
cues
that
and
person
yeah.
for the other cue,
Right,
or
right.
just, paying attention to what's going on stage. And the number two thing that I was going to say is that um, with a band, with Toto specifically, is that um, the way that we're all on in ears, right? We don't have any stage
Hmm.
monitors.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything's on in ears and packs, and the only thing that are live on stage are drums, like
Hmm.
that are everything's live on stage. But what I mean is the only thing that has amplification on stage
Hmm.
is the natural sound of the drums,
Hmm.
the natural sound of the saxophone and the congas,
Yeah.
and Luke's guitar amp.
Right. That's it.
So if the ears go out, we're pretty hosed, and that's not a fun scenario to think about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but everything sounds exactly like it did in rehearsal
Hmm. Yeah.
because we have the same
On the positive side. Yeah.
monitor engineer. We've got the same, techs and stuff, and our crew is just an incredible crew
Hmm.
to be able to, set that up every night, like, you know,
Absolutely.
in record time and stuff too. Sometimes because there's sound checks beforehand, and sometimes, logistically things run late, and so they might not have like all day to set everything up.
Yeah.
And they've been knocking it out of the park. So,
Yeah. Well, and
um,
you know what too,
the,
like with the in the ear thing, I'm thinking if and for anyone who's ever played a club or a bar or whatever with like a unreliable PA, or it's reliable but the room's kind of weird,
yeah,
not having too much of that like room and depending on where the monitor speakers are and all this other stuff affecting your timing is a great asset. If it's all in the cans or like an
yeah.
ear, that's a big win because it's just sort of it's where it's supposed to be. So like you're,
And
as long as
especially in the arenas, because you've got, in some of these
yeah,
arenas, like they're not built for music.
right.
They're sports arenas. Like we're
Hmm.
playing hockey rinks and basketball arenas, like,
Yeah, yeah.
so it's they're not built for that. And some of them have these like 4 to 6 second delays,
Wow,
you know, that if you
that's
take your
terrifying.
ears out, and I've done it a couple times just, to
Ugh.
really feel, and hear the crowd interaction. And we do have some stage mics that we can pump in ambience and stuff from the room,
Hmm.
but I don't typically have that mixed in my ears too much.
Yeah, you don't
I
want to
just
destroy
like
them.
hearing what's going on over here, and if I need to, like, if there's a part where I'm doing something simple, I'll pop my ear out and, hear the crowd singing along and everything. And,
Yeah, yeah.
and then most of the time I have to pop it back in because the crowds are just too loud and it hurts my ears.
They're having too much of a good time.
They're having a great time, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird. I
It's
was really
awesome.
nervous, and then it was like halfway through the first song, I was like, wow, like everything we've done to prepare for this is really, built for success and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
just, I felt I did mess up that first show because I caught myself listening to, Luke play one of the solos, and I forgot that I had to play still. Uh,
You were just like so enamored by what he was doing. You're like, oh,
yeah, I was just like, whoa,
yeah.
dude, like that's fucking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I gotta keep going. You know.
It's funny. Wait,
But
it along those lines, were there any sort of in addition to that, let's say, were there any sort of Spinal Tap moments, whether it be like the venue, like something on the production end of things, like one of you guys, is there, like a, you know,
def
hello
definitely
Cleveland, where you're like
we've
not able to get to the stage. Hello Cleveland.
nothing like worthy of being in a Spinal Tap movie. But
Okay, yeah,
we do reference that movie a lot. It is a
of
lot of,
course.
a lot of these arenas, they're ovular, I guess,
Okay, yeah,
and
ovular. Okay.
they're, so you walk in and sometimes you think you know where you're going, but that was, from like 3 towns ago or something.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So like
Things start to
there's
look
a
the
couple
same.
times that I've turned the wrong way and ended up having to walk like all the way around the arena. And I'm like, damn, this is
Oh
far out.
no.
And then like all I had to do was turn right, and like the green room was right there, like
That's
20 feet
funny.
away from where we walked in.
So it is like hello Cleveland. You have experienced that then. There you go.
A little bit, yeah. It's like I think we made a wrong turn somewhere, you know.
They talk to the guy like you know, in, in like the boiler room. He's like, want to go that way? You want to jog down just a little left, and then you'll see a door. That's the state. Oh my god.
The nice thing, and to combat that, one of the little
Yeah.
tricks that I've seen is that they'll put arrows leading to the stage from the green room. So when you walk in,
Yeah.
if you don't see signs up for where things are and arrows up top, you can always look at the floor,
Right.
and you'll be able to find your way in reverse. But
Who would have thunk it? You know,
yeah,
crazy.
but yeah, and then there was clumsy little mistakes, like a keyboard switch gets a little stuck, or you're a little too fervent in your uh patch changing and go one too far or something, like
Yeah.
I went to do so we've been doing Rosanna into Africa,
Okay.
and last year on the tour I had it set up where the Africa little like the
Yeah.
kalimbas and stuff and the Rosanna horns were on the same keyboard, and I
Oh.
thought that I changed it over,
Oh
and I
no.
didn't. And so like I'm down, like trying to, like me and X are downstage, downstage right in the front, and
Yeah.
trying to get the crowd going, and I'm like, looking all cool and get back up to my thing, and we're
Yeah.
like, cool, here we go, dude, like, you ready? And Luke counts us in, and it's just full on this brass sound.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that's
We
oof.
just
Yeah.
had a great laugh with that.
Of
It was
course. Yeah. Yeah.
fixed immediately, and
Yeah.
only ever happened one other time, and then I
Okay. The
got
crowd
a new
probably thought
board.
that was hilarious, though. You know, like it's like
If
that's
anybody caught it,
if anyone
I
even
don't
picked
know.
up, you know, as
Yeah,
usual, people don't notice the mistakes that the artist
I think
notices
our
themselves.
front of house engineer, might have just caught it. He's brilliant, and he probably just like heard the first note and was just like,
Nope.
nope. Bring this fader down. Talk to you later about that.
So like that video, didn't you? Yeah, I know you did. Anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll create a lot more content like that. Look forward to seeing you around. Take it easy.